So, friends, very good evening to you all. So, this was the very nice moment actually to understand from. This will be a very nice moment from Raka Garu will be explaining us everything like what's going on in Telangana and a few little information about Raka Garu. Raka Sudhakar Garu did his MS in Botany and later pursued masters in mass communication and writing a thesis on digital communication with respect to Telangana. So being a Sangha Pracharak for 12 years, was a Swayam Sevak for almost since childhood. And he started his journalist career with New Indian Express and he's working for Sakshi. He also worked for Sakshi Channel as well. His own YouTube channel is very famous for nationalistic views. Please subscribe, add a thorough understanding of to understand and know more about the nationalistic approach and what exactly is happening from the nationalistic perspective. So Raka Garu, welcome to the call, Andy. The first question is, post Karnataka situation in Telangana, what is its impact and can BJP get through the 60 mark and form the government form cheyagalada? I know human memory is short and decirculation, demonetization of 2,000 rupees already got a lot of focus and KT is out of mind. So explain it, sir.
Yeah, there are two questions in this. The first of all, namaskars to everyone. Is my voice audible and clear, louder?
Yes, Raka.
Yeah, if it is fine, then we'll go ahead. Personally speaking, there are two questions here. One is about the taking back of 2,000 rupees currency note, and the second is about the impact of Karnataka on Telangana. So I'll deal with the Telangana issue first, the impact of Karnataka. The impact of the drubbing that we received in Karnataka. The internal assessment was that the party would get somewhere between 80 to 90 seats and then form the government with the help of the other parties. But the calculations appear to have gone totally wrong, and then we were confined below 67, 65, and that is a big disappointment. And the issue is what will be the impact of this on Telangana? There is bound to be some impact on the BJP Karyakartas in Telangana. A lot of analysts are saying that this will actually enthuse the workers of the Congress party in Telangana. But I don't see that happening because the Congress is riven by dissensions and there is intense groupism, and the Karnataka, the impact of Karnataka will be actually subsumed in the rivalry that is there currently there within the Congress party, and the Congress party has a different battle altogether. So I do not really know if the Congress would be able to take advantage of the victory in Karnataka, because the organization is totally unprepared and it is riven by dissensions, and the leadership there in Congress is uninspiring. As for the BJP, this is definitely a demoralizing thing for the BJP, because the BJP workers were, most of them were expecting a decent show by the BJP in Karnataka. So a below par performance is definitely bound to demoralize to a certain extent, but then BJP Karyakartas are made of different stuff and they would come over this very quickly. If you remember, in 1984 elections, we were confined to just 2 seats, one from Mehsana and one from Hanamkonda. And even the stalwarts like Vajpayee were defeated in Gwalior. So everyone wrote off the BJP. But then by 1987, that is within 3 years, BJP bounced back and started winning elections, and also the Ayodhya issue came up and the party got a new lease of life, and then it recuperated from the defeat. So I foresee a very quick recuperation and of the BJP in Telangana. But I don't see that happening in Congress. This is there are many reasons for that. Of course, we can go into details because the as for the Congress is concerned, there is a complete difference between the scenario in Karnataka and the scenario in Telangana. In Karnataka, the major battle was between two national parties, with the regional player being a very marginal one. The Janata Dal was a marginal player, whereas the BJP and the Congress were both national parties. When it comes to Telangana, there is a marked difference in the situation. In Telangana, a well-entrenched regional party with complete control over media and administration is being challenged by two national parties, both as of now unprepared for the battle. As of now, this is a very qualified statement, and as of now, we appear to be slightly unprepared for this war, particularly because of the Karnataka. So, two national parties challenging a regional party. There's a qualitative difference between the situation in Karnataka, where the major players were national parties and the regional party was a marginal player. In case of Telangana, it is a fight between two national parties on one in the opposition and a national party. So there's a difference, and wherever regional parties are strong, the national parties have not performed according to expectations. So, of course, this is a general rule, but we can always buck this general trend and then we can emerge victorious. This accounts for the first issue. And the second is about the demonetization thing. This was announced yesterday. The Reserve Bank has announced that the currency notes of the denomination of 2000 would be withdrawn from circulation. But then for the last 6 or 7 years, we have continuously, we have been witnessing a steady withdrawal of the 2000 rupees, note. So you go to the bank, you deposit 2000, you withdraw, you will be given 5000 rupees note. So the government has a major portion of the 2000 notes of the denomination of 2000 already in its banks, and it has already reached the Reserve Bank. And this was already known, when the demonetization happened in 2014 or 15. The Reserve Bank then has announced that 2000 rupees denomination currency note is via media to address the shortage of currency notes. So this would be gradually phased out. This was what the Reserve Bank governor had already said. And the people, those who do business, particularly those who are involved in financial transactions, knew very well that 2000 rupees note would be withdrawn at some stage or the other. So this has not come as a surprise for anyone, and I don't really think there would be many currency notes of the denomination of 2000 rupees face value, in public circulation. A very limited amount is there in public circulation, which is very marginal. And second important thing, the impact of withdrawal of this, impact of the withdrawal of this 2000 rupees denomination currency note would not be felt, because India had already transited into digital currency. India had already transited into digital currency, and I haven't seen a 2000 rupees note in last 1 year. I haven't touched, felt a 2000 rupees coin. So this was being gradually phased out. People in the business knew that this would be phased out. The government itself had announced that this is a via media attempt. And the fourth important thing is India's transition to digital currency. At least 60% of our transactions today are digital currency. I find that a lot of people, even artisans and small-time workers, asking you to actually send the money through GPay or Phone Pay instead of hard cash. This is completely different from the earlier situation where people were wary of the digital transaction. So I do not really think this would impact anyone in any way. This is a much needed measure that was put in place, and I don't actually see any politics in this move, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, understand very well. We got clarity on that. So, friends, if you have any questions, please move forward. The area is open for
Your voice is very low. Your voice is quite low.
Yeah, yeah. And now probably you'll have more voice.
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, sure. So everyone has an option now. Please go ahead and ask your questions if you have any. Yeah, unmute yourself. The option is available there. And you
నమస్తే రాకాజీ, నా పేరు శ్రీకాంత్. నేను షార్లెట్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. ఐ నో మమతా ఇస్ అ ఫెలో షార్లెట్ అండ్ షీస్ హిందీ లాంగ్వేజ్, బట్ ఐ ఫీల్ కంఫర్టబుల్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ ఇన్ తెలుగు. యా, మీ కర్ణాటక మీద అనాలిసిస్ ఇవాళ ఎక్సలెంట్ అండి. నాన్ ప్రాఫిట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ వాటి మీద చెప్పారు కదా మీరు ఇవాళ. మీరు అంటే మీరు రెగ్యులర్ ఫాలోవర్ మీ ఛానల్ని, బాగా చెప్పారు. సో ఇందాక మీరు అంటే పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్సర్ చేశారు, బట్ థింగ్ ఎనీ ఛాన్సెస్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ ఫర్ 2024 ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్, ఈ ఇయర్ ఎండ్ వరకు అలా వచ్చిన ఎలక్షన్స్ ఏమైనా ఛాన్స్ ఉందా బీజేపీకి తెలంగాణలో?
Sir, BJP stands a very good, BJP has a very good chance of actually challenging KCR, because there is one major difference between Karnataka and Telangana. In Karnataka, the media, the social media, the NGOs, and the Congress itself, they worked in tandem, and they created an impression that BJP was a 40% sarkar. No sarkar would be 40%. If a government is 40%, then the system would collapse. But then this 40% tag stuck to the BJP, and BJP couldn't fight. But in Telangana, the situation is reversed. The media, the social media, the voluntary organizations, the non-governmental infrastructure, the apparatus, and the TRS party apparatus, they are working in tandem. This is different from the Karnataka situation, where the government was not alive to the situation. In Telangana, I know for a fact that several social media organizations have already been approached by the TRS, so that they write favorable items, and when they refer to the Telangana issues, and when they refer to the performance of the Telangana government, they would use a very moderate language that would not create a feeling of antagonism against the government. So they are monitoring the social media content, and they are trying to advise the social media, people, the organizations and the individuals who are producing content, on how to go about. And this is a quid pro quo, as you know. So they're being monitored for the last 1 year, 1.5 years. So unlike in Karnataka, the government in the TRS government is actually has already formed. The media is completely in their control in Telangana, and you don't find that happening in neighboring Andhra Pradesh also, or it didn't happen even in Karnataka. So TRS definitely enjoys an advantage. The discontent against TRS is still to solidify. There is deep discontent against TRS government. There is anger against TRS government, but then it will have to solidify, and it will have to convert into vote. The anger will have to convert into electoral outcome. I think that is where we are lacking in the TRS is able to contain it. This is something like Mamata Banerjee. There was deep rooted resentment against Mamata Banerjee, but the Mamata's should I say political acumen has ensured that the anger and discontent does not convert into a vote. So, and then she tapped into the Muslim votes. So here in Andhra, the situation is much similar to that. TRS is ensuring that the anger is still in the suboptimal level. It has not reached the boiling point and has not got converted. the chances of it getting converted into votes is minimal. So the BJP will have to do something very big in the coming 4 or 5 months that it has on hand, because the notification is likely to come somewhere in September or October, and the elections could be held in December. So the actual period that you have, the window period is only 4 months. So the party will have to do a lot of things, and then there has to be a concerted and coordinated effort for the BJP to really challenge the TRS. Having said that, I see that there is a lot of enthusiasm towards BJP in the rural areas. Our workers are working very hard, and I see that as on today, we are very comfortably placed, but then we still have to walk that extra mile to defeat KCR. I know I am sounding slightly ambiguous, but then you never know. In the last 30 or 40 days of electioneering, lot can happen and things can turn in BJP's favor, because there is deep-rooted resentment against TRS, which has as of now not got converted into electoral outcomes. So I think BJP has to tap into that.
So
And
what are
second important,
what are those reasons why the public is again like not satisfied with TRS? What are those possible
yeah,
reasons?
that's a good question. One major anger is among the youth, because there are no job opportunities, employment opportunities, and then no notifications have come. And even in cases where notifications have been issued, there have been the process of recruitment has been cancelled for some reason or the other, citing legal reasons, citing leakage of the question papers, so on and so forth. So there is deep-rooted resentment against in the educated class. That's the first thing. The rural people are also unhappy, particularly those who expected miracles from Kaleshwaram and all these irrigation projects that have been taken up by the TRS government. Not only are they not cost effective, they're very costly. Cost to benefit ratio is dismally low, but then the agricultural sector is not really happy. But in some areas, the farmers are happy because of the Raitu Bandhu. Raitu Bandhu, there are few things that are actually sustaining the TRS. One is Raitu Bandhu. The second one is the government employees. KCR is able to contain the anger among the government employees and teachers in a very effective manner, and is not allowing this community, which actually decides the electoral fate, because they actually conduct the elections. These people are being well managed. I think that's where the TRS has an edge. But then youth, women, they're unhappy. Rural poverty has gone up after the Telangana government has come. The housing schemes that were promised have never fructified, and people are unhappy. And then there are some communities, social groups, which are feeling let down. For example, the PC leadership, they feel that their due has not been given. So the PC communities are turning away from the TRS. But then these need to be tapped. These are the communities. I see that, as far as Telangana, I don't know how many people would agree with me, but the Western Telangana, starting from Adilabad down to Narayan Khed and Zahirabad, is the Hindutva belt of Telangana. This is like the coastal Karnataka region of um, Karnataka.
True.
The coastal Karnataka, you may have seen that the BJP has performed, slightly better compared to all other regions. It did well in Karnataka city, the Bangalore city, as well as the coastal city. Though its number of seats have fallen down, it still managed to maintain its lead. So the Western Karnataka region is the Hindutva belt of Telangana. There are a lot of sadhus, lot of sannyasis, the influence of mathas, and the influence of organizations like Swadhyay Mandals, and then all these Warkari influence from Maharashtra and Karnataka, and also about the Siddhas, yogis, and the mathas, mandiras. So this area can be tapped by the BJP very effectively, because even in the last election, BJP performed very well. And some of the municipalities it has won, and some of the corporations where it did well in the local elections. Immediately, that happened immediately after the 2018 elections. The BJP did well. It is the single largest party in Nizamabad Municipal Corporation, and also it performed very well in Adilabad, Nirmal, Bhansa, and all these places. So the western Telangana area, the anger against TRS is building up because it is being perceived as pro-Muslim. Particularly places like Bodhan, I visited all these areas. There is anger among the TRS. So the TRS is trying to address it in a different way. We will discuss that if there is a relevant question. So these are the areas primarily that are actually moving away from the TRS. And these are the areas that need to be tapped. But particularly the western Telangana region is now I see it is the Hindutva belt. A lot of Hindutva sentiment is there in these regions, and then I believe that can be tapped. In fact, last time also BJP performed quite well in Zahirabad and all these areas, Andol, Zahirabad, a lot of other areas. Of course, some of the candidates did not use this weapon effectively, but then in other places, 2019 as well as the municipal elections, the civic body elections that happened immediately after that, BJP performs reasonably okay considering the level of preparedness. So I think these are the areas where the anger against TRS is building up.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed explanation. Okay, Nishamba. Sir, just one personal question, sir. మీరు ఎక్కడ ఏ ప్లేస్ నుంచి సార్ తెలంగాణలో?
Sir, I have a very interesting background. I come from Guntur district. My forefathers are from Guntur district, and the place is known as Repalle, but my grandfather has shifted to Telangana in 1948, immediately after the police action, to work as a Congress party activist for the Bhudan movement. So that's how we came to Telangana, and we lived in Sitarambag and places like Lalaguda and others. And all my education, at least up to matriculation, was in Nizamabad district. So Bodhan, Shakarnagar, Edapalli, these are the areas where I spent all my childhood. But then later we shifted to Hyderabad after my father's demise. So all along I studied in Telangana. And I worked as a pracharak in Assam. I was born in Chennai. So, legally I am a resident of Telangana, practically. But then my roots are in Andhra.
రైట్ నైస్ టు నో సార్. ఎందుకంటే మీరు కొన్ని వీడియోస్లో ఈ డీప్ నిజామాబాద్ గురించి బాగా డీటెయిల్స్ చెప్పారు, కొన్ని వీడియోస్లో పోచంపాడ ఏరియా గురించి, అందుకు జస్ట్ డౌట్ వచ్చింది. యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Nizamabad is where my grandfather believed that Telugu people are one, so he had 11 children. Except the first child, all other children were married into different parts of Telangana. He worked primarily in Medar, Nizamabad and Adilabad. So all his daughters and sons were given in marriage in these regions. So all my relatives, though I am an Andhraite, all my relatives are from these regions. So when there are family get-togethers, we actually it's like a mixture. I speak the Andhra way, and most of my relatives speak the Telangana.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
So Madhava Krishna Meduri has a question.
Madhava Krishna Meduri garu.
నమస్కారం అండి, నేను రామశర్మ బాగున్నాండి, మీరు బాగున్నారా? అది కర్నూలు. కాకపోతే నేను ఒక జనరిక్ క్వశ్చన్.
మాధవ్ గారు, మీ అన్నయ్య నేను కలిసి RSS మీ ఫాదర్, ఐ థింక్
అన్నయ్య కూడా
రామశర్మ నేను కలిసి చేశాం.
అవునండి. క్వశ్చన్ అండి, మనకి తెలంగాణ కానీ తెలుగు ప్రాంతాలు రెండిట్లోనూ మనకి ఈ మీడియా మనకు అంటే ఇప్పుడు అదాని దీని నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చాడు కాబట్టి మనకేమైనా ఈ NDTV లాంటి దీని ఫుట్ ప్రింట్ పెరిగితే మేలేమో అని అనుకుంటున్నాను. మరి నా పర్సనల్ క్వశ్చన్ అది. మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం చేసే మంచి పనులన్నీ ట్రాన్స్లేట్ అవ్వట్లేదేమో అని నా ఫీలింగ్. అంటే మీడియా సపోర్ట్ లేదేమో భాజపాకి, మనకి కావాల్సినంత సపోర్ట్ ఉంటే బాగుంటుందేమో అని మీ అభిప్రాయం చెప్పగలరా?
Add to that, Raka garu, add to that, manaki mainly like ABN and Enadu, they are sending as a venom like anything. Like ABN is the main.
Yes.
అది మళ్ళీ మన బీజేపీ లీడర్స్ వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళకి ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇస్తారు, ఎందుకో తెలియదు. అది జస్ట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు బైకాట్, లైక్ లిటరలీ రోజు చూస్తుంటే ఏడుపు వస్తుందండి ఆంధ్రజ్యోతి పేపర్ చూస్తుంటే.
మీడియా ప్రతి పార్టీకి మీడియా ఉందండి. మీడియా బయాస్రన్ కాదు. బీజేపీకి మీడియా ఉంది, టిఆర్ఎస్ కి మీడియా ఉంది, మీడియా అందరికి ఉంది. హౌ దే ఆర్ ప్రాపగండింగ్ అనేది అంత మీడియా ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి. ఇప్పుడు V6 ఎంతసేపు బీజేపీ గురించే చెప్తారు. ఎట్లా అంటే మీడియా క్వశ్చన్ కాదు. తెలంగాణలో అధికారులకు రావాలంటే ఒక లీడర్ను ఫోకస్ చేయాలి. ఒక ఈజ్ ద క్యాండిడేట్, అంతేగాని హిందుత్వ అంటే అది రాదు. సౌత్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్, నార్త్ ఇండియన్ పాలిటిక్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్. సౌత్ ఇండియా ఇప్పుడు వెనకడికి వెళ్ళి మనం చూసినాం, రాజశేఖర రెడ్డి ఇర్రెస్పెక్టివ్ ఆఫ్ కాంగ్రెస్, రాజశేఖర రెడ్డి ఇమేజ్ తోటే గెలిపించుకొచ్చిండు. కేసీఆర్ ఇమేజ్ తోటే గెలిపించుకొచ్చిండు. ఇట్లా బీజేపీ కూడా ఒక లీడర్ ను ఫోకస్ చేసి ఈజ్ అ సీఎం క్యాండిడేట్.
Can you on your video please, who is this?
Srinivas.
Can you please can you on your video please? Yeah చెప్పండి, ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి.
చెప్పేందంటే హిందుత్వ అనేది సౌత్ ఇండియాలో ఎక్కువ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉండవు నా అనాలిసిస్ ప్రకారం.
శ్రీనివాస్ భాయ్ చెప్పాలంటే శ్రీనివాస్ భాయ్ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఏబీవీపీ లీడర్,
స్ట్రాంగ్ డైనమిక్ లీడర్ ఉండాలి.
మాట్లాడు చెప్పు భాయ్.
ముఖ్యమంత్రి అనే బదులు ముందే ఎలక్షన్ల ముందే ఓకే బీజేపీ ఒక స్ట్రాంగ్ లీడర్ ని ఫోకస్ చేసి ఈజ్ ద సీఎం క్యాండిడేట్. ఎందుకంటే సౌత్ ఇండియాలో మొత్తం వ్యక్తుల మీదనే అవుతున్నాయి, ఇర్రెస్పెక్టివ్ ఆఫ్ పార్టీస్, కాంగ్రెస్ కమ్యూనిస్ట్.
That is your opinion అండి.
రాకా గారు బ్రీఫ్ గా ఏంటంటే శ్రీనివాస్ అన్న క్వశ్చన్, డూ వి నీడ్ ఎ ఫేస్ ఇన్ తెలంగాణ? అది
that is the question. They can put it, but like there is no in
that's okay.
He said Hindutva that works in North India does not work in Telangana. That is his contention. South Indian politics are different, North Indian politics are different, he says. So that's actually a very good question. That's a put for thought for the BJP activists. I also personally
Raka, before you answer, before you answer, like I just want to ask another supplement question which is on a similar lines. అంటే మీరు అనాలిసిస్ చేస్తూ చెప్తున్నప్పుడు వెస్టర్న్ తెలంగాణలో ఎక్కువ ఇప్పుడు ఆదిలాబాద్ నుంచి జహీరాబాద్ వరకు పోలరైజేషన్ అనేది ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. బట్ ప్రీవియస్లీ అక్కడ ఉన్న క్యాండిడేట్స్ దాన్ని ఎక్కువ ట్యాప్ చేయలేదు, అండ్ దట్స్ అ ఏరియా దట్ వీ షుడ్ ట్యాప్ ఇన్ టు లైక్ సిమిలర్ కోస్టల్ కర్ణాటక అని చెప్పారు. అంటే అగైన్ గోయింగ్ బ్యాక్ టు similar to Srinivas' point, is BJP only betting on the polarization votes, or what are the other aspects of into elections అనేవి?
Yeah, that's a very good question, sir. I would try to answer them. First, the media part I will try to answer, because sir, I have a different take on media. A politician cannot ignore media. You have to sleep with the enemy. Knowing fully well that he's your enemy, you have to sleep with him. I'm using a filmy expression. There's a movie called Sleeping with the Enemy. So you know very well that he doesn't like you, but then you have to work with him because they reach maximum number of people. The unfortunate situation in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana is, both the Telugu states is, the media houses are all in Telangana. The media footfall is in both Andhra and Telangana. Many of the media organizations that operate from Telangana have their interests focused in the coastal Andhra, which is now a separate state. So there is a dichotomy here. Only Enadu has a separate channel for Telangana and a separate channel for Andhra. No other channel has that. So these channels have a dual role. When it comes to Telangana, you would have noticed that ABN Andhra Jyoti is soft on BJP, but when it comes to Andhra, it wants the BJP to become the tail of the, an appendage of the TDP. So it has a different set of, priorities when it comes to Andhra Pradesh. So this is one major problem. The control of the TRS on the traditional media like the print and electronic is tremendous, absolute, because their media houses, their infrastructure, their real estate, everything is in Hyderabad, is based in Hyderabad. So naturally, these people do not want to offend the TRS, government. Even an organization as strong as Sakshi, and Inadu, they are not, they are wary of taking on TRS. So that's one major issue. As far as the BJP is concerned, it also tried to, set up a couple of TV channels. For example, they had some kind of arrangement with a couple of channels, Raj TV, Bharat Today, so on and so forth. But then they did not work out because of the kind of manpower they had and the kind of inputs that are needed. Firstly, running a TV channel or a newspaper is no small order. You need to actually pump in 6 to 12 crores every year. Year on year, you have to keep pumping money or investing money, which is and if you are not among the top 5 TV channels, then you won't get advertisements. That's one major problem. You would have noticed that only Inadu has managed to buck this trend of TRP ratings and all that. It has not entered into the rat race, but then its investments are different. It's the kind of trust it invokes among the viewers is different. As the first TV channel, even if heaven falls, the Gantaravam will come only on time. There will be no sudden breaking news and others in ETV. But then otherwise, if you are not in the top 5, your channel is not seen. I would give you one small example. During the last 2019 elections, the maximum number of people watching the YouTube channel of TV9 live was 1954. A YouTube channel, a private one with a smaller infrastructure called Nationalist Hub, was getting 2,560 people live watching the election coverage. So this the TV watching time and all are coming down. So if you're not in the top 5, you're not watched. That's one major problem. And BJP has started its own 1 or 2 TV channels, but they have all ended as disasters. One, because of the lack of quality of human resources. Second, because of the investment related issues. Third, because they were focused on antagonizing KCR, criticizing KCR. I think they have not tried to project the positive side of BJP's activities, the achievements elsewhere, the kind of activities that are going on in Assam. For example, the Vidyadan scheme of Assam, where every government official visits a government school once in 3 months and monitors the progress of the schools. This has been there for the last 9 years in Assam, and it's a very good scheme. Where there's very low investment, the teacher or the government official stays in the villages, holds meeting with the parents, holds meeting with the students, then has a separate meeting with the school managements. That scheme, these channels did not cover. I'm just giving you one example. So these are the issues why our channels have actually failed to make a mark. Of course, V6 has BJP, as one of our friend from the ABVP, Srinivas Garu, has pointed out. It speaks of BJP, but then I have my own problems with V6. Its pro-BJP stance is a direct reflection of the likes and dislikes of the management. If the management is not happy on that day, the barometer will change. That's the problem. That's the problem that I notice as an insider, as someone who has been watching this channel. I like the content and I like their way of working, and it's a very good organization. It's a very good paymaster. Lot of positives, but sometimes I feel suddenly the temperature
Narrative
comes down.
changes.
Suddenly the temperature, the fluctuation is happening.
Yeah.
This is one problem, and the media in general is against BJP, particularly in the Telugu states, because for almost 40 years, since late 1980s, the media has come to be dominated by the people from leftist thought. And the way the Congress and other political parties have cultivated journalists, I think the BJP has lessons in that. They have, they cultivated journalists. I know a lot of journalists who go from Andhra Pradesh to work as Delhi correspondents. They stay in the houses allotted to the MPs. They stay there. They use the kitchen. They stay there for 4 years, 5 years in the house of an MP, and then don't pay even a single paisa, and then once in a while get to meet the MP, then pour out their problems. So this kind of cultivation has not happened in our case, though we had 3 or 4 MPs at one point in time. Currently we have 4 MPs, but then earlier too, Andhra Pradesh had 5 MPs in 1995, 3 from Telangana, 2 from 3 from Andhra and 2 from Telangana. So Tirupati, Narsapur and Rajamundry. And then here in Hyderabad and Metpalli, we had MPs. But then we don't cultivate MPs the way, we don't look at them as investments. I know of cases where Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy has cultivated journalists in the opposite camp. He has cultivated them so well that, you know, it was the journalists of Eenadu who have fixed deals for Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy. When he was aspiring to become a chief minister, you would be surprised. These relations, you know, they can be traced from that era. For example, when YSR wanted to meet P.V. Narasimha Rao to stake claim to become the chief minister, though it did not fructify, it was an Eenadu journalist who has actually helped him to have an appointment with P.V. Narasimha Rao. P.V.'s personal secretary met him and then he conveyed it. It was not a direct meeting, but then it was a journalist from Eenadu who did it. And, you know, when YS became the chief minister, the first thing he did was to bring the journalist from Eenadu and make him the information commissioner. So this kind of symbiosis, I think
That was
you
a
have
great
to sleep
gesture.
with the enemy, but you have to cultivate. This is one point that I want to make. And we see that, you know, sometimes these people meet journalists on a regular basis, the Congress people, even now. Lot of, you know, Andhra Prabha is non-existent these days. So most of the journalists, senior journalists from Andhra Pradesh are employed by some Congress leader or the other for research, for writing speeches, for, you know, getting publicity and then managing their campaign, so on and so forth. I don't see that happening with our BJP leaders. BJP leaders don't even have a small library or a small back-end office to actually manage their communications. So this is one area of concern, one. And secondly, he was talking about ABN and the English channels like ABN and after the Adani issue. I personally feel the English channels will have a very small role in impacting the Telangana elections. It is the regional media, as Srinivas Garu has pointed out. South India is entirely different. South India is the only place where the print media circulation is still high. South India is the only place. The largest.
Question.
Let me complete. The largest circulated vernacular daily is from Kerala, Malayalam Manorama. The fourth largest is still Eenadu. So we have regional media playing a very important role. And this is something that our people will have to understand. I don't suggest setting up new media houses because they're costly and it's very difficult to get the manpower. And I personally feel that BJP should invest in social media. It should start cultivating social media, start promoting social media, and then if there are about 70 or 80 TV channels and YouTube channels that talk about the real issues and then set the agenda, I think we can still set the agenda, and it is possible. So this is about the media part. And if you have a question related to media, I think you should ask now.
No, question. Other media gurinche, media 72% of the Telangana population in rural areas.
Yes.
Most of the villages, even today, nobody reads the paper. Only towns and cities. There, only 50% of the people go for vote. But how media is impacting on the people? What you write in the media? Because the rural places, papers are not reached. Nobody reads the paper in the. For example, farmers, rural villages. Did they read the paper? I don't think so. Most of them I'm giving an example of my village. No paper in my village. Nobody reads the paper. But how media is impacting in the rural people?
Yes, you have a very valid question, but I think this question should have been asked 20 years ago, because the media scene in Telangana has changed. Today, Inadu has about 7 to 10 lakh copies selling, and all the media houses put together, they're selling close to 15 lakh copies. 15 lakh copies, each copy is read by, if one assumes, by the National Readership Survey that the government conducts regularly. Each newspaper is read by 10 people. So actually, you're actually reaching 1 crore of the population, which is 1/3 of Telangana's population. One, print media is able to. The electronic media today is has 95% penetrability, and TV is able to impact the political perceptions of the people in a very big, very significant way. TV's reach, even in hutments, you find those dish antennas and all that.
Yeah, the TVs will reach. That I agree. TVs will reach.
Yes. So when I say media, it is not just print media, electronic media put together. And thirdly, this social media, the mobile phone revolution that is happening, that is sweeping through Telangana. Today, I've just got 2 rooms constructed for my penthouse, and then I found that all the laborers, whether they're irrespective of whether they are from Bihar, whether they are from Andhra Pradesh, whether they are from Odisha, I have seen them switching on the video, listening to the video and working. One listens to Garikapati Narasimharao, one listens to political comments. Some people listen to, one of the worker who was watering, curing my, cemented walls, concrete walls, was from Ongole, and he was listening to the politics in Ongole district on a regular basis. His name was Rampote. Of course, name doesn't really matter, but then the reach of the social media is also immense, tremendous, and even daily wage laborers these days carry mobile phones. Even in villages, these downloads and viraling of the content is happening. So the media scene has changed a lot, not just in Telangana, in Andhra and elsewhere also. So we need to have our own social media. We need to cultivate friends in the print media. We need to have a working relationship with the media houses. That's a very loaded term again, but then we need to have it. And then we need to have organizations that favor our school of thought. At least some of them, our reach must go. But we always have an alternative route. And I'm slightly digressing, but I would like to, explain.
We'll go for
running out of the time.
Yeah, we'll go for more questions. Mamta ji, you have a question, right? Mamta ji.
Yeah. So, okay, now from media, let's go to the statistics. So I have a question on the number of seats that you think, because last time, I think 2018, TRS swept with 88 seats. BJP had only 1. So is there a chance that BJP can become a strong opposition this time if the Congress cannot make it? Or what is the tussle out? How is the tussle going to be?
Yeah, I think Congress will, will actually push. BJP will push Congress down. So BJP will push the Congress down, and the BJP is, as of now, can win around 30 seats, but it needs a bigger push to get at least up to the 50 mark. This is what I feel. The TRS is not going to repeat the result of 2018, because 2018 was an aberration. It was a perception war that they have won. Very important to understand. They won. I have met a lot of BJP workers who voted for TRS. I'll give you one example of a constituency, Khanapur in Adilabad, where the BJP had a membership of 11,000, but the party got 2,000 votes.
Yeah, so similar stance was like this only everywhere, where the state level they were giving to TRS, but at the central level they were giving to BJP. Yes. That was the combination.
This time the situation is likely to change. One, secondly, the BJP will clearly push the Congress down. One, and secondly, it will be a very serious challenger to the TRS, and the TRS will not be able to repeat the 2018 performance. It will definitely fall down. if TRS wins, I want
Okay.
to make a comment. If TRS wins, it will be winning because of only two factors. One is the Muslim vote, which is very powerful in around 25 constituencies of Telangana. And second, it will win because of the Simandra settler votes. The people
Okay.
it hated all these years and it spewed venom against, TRS is now the biggest benefactor of these people, and all these people are going to vote for
Mm-hmm.
TRS. All these Simandra voters, 90% of them
Mm-hmm.
are going to vote for TRS.
So-
They have already voted, and I'll tell you one small example. Why is NTR's statue in the form of Lord Krishna being installed in Khammam and not in Nimmaluru, which is NTR's birthplace? Why is it being, why are they trying to install it in Khammam, which is a part of Telangana?
Mm-hmm.
Across the border, you have Nimmaluru and Gudivada, which is the birthplace of NTR. They could have installed this statue, but the community is choosing to install here. And a TRS MLA, BRS MLA, who is also a minister, is actually managing the whole affair. So why do you think they're doing? Why do you think all the TRS MLAs with a Telugu Desam past have
Mhm.
gone and paid their respects to NTR on his 100th birthday? It's no small coincidence. It is actually part of the attempts to wean away the coastal Andhra vote. So if TRS is going to win a good number of seats, it is because of the Simandra voters against whom it fought, and the Muslim votes, who play a very crucial. They win 10 seats on their own, and they're going to influence the outcome in about 10 to 15 more seats. So this 20 plus 20, 40 is the seed capital of the TRS. So whatever seats they win outside this
Mm-hmm.
is bonus for them. So they are this vote group, I think, is very important. I think
So yeah. So on
BJP
that
also
basis,
try to tap into this.
yeah. So on that basis of that Muslim vote, especially that AIMIM, there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So there, and as you say, the secular votes. So I assume that these are all converted population that you're talking about, the Christian votes.
No. It's the Christians are not a factor in Telangana that way, because they vote for both Congress. They are there for BJP. BJP has a sizable number of Christian voters, and it had candidates who were Christians in 2018 and earlier too.
Babu
Some of
Mohan
it-
is one of them.
Yeah, Babu Mohan is one of them, and then Anthony Reddy, who is into the legal cell of
yeah.
the BJP, is a
That's
very senior worker and a very trusted worker. There's no doubt about it. So Christian voting is not going to impact except in
Okay.
one or two places like Medak city. But then the Simandra voters, the people coming from various influential political communities of Andhra region, I think they're already pally with the TRS. And if you see, 3 of the TRS MLAs in Hyderabad city, Arikapudi Gandhi, Vivekananda, Madhavaram Kantara is a villain, of course. And then I do not really want to talk about caste, but then Maganti Gopinath, these were all past Telugu Desam leaders. So I think in the coming days, the Simandra voters are very crucial, and the BJP also should have a strategy to woo the Simandra voters. If you see the last GHMC elections, the only single seat BJP could win in the whole of Kukatpalli Assembly constituency was in that Y Junction area. It's called Musapet. It has a predominantly Telangana population in the Kukatpalli Assembly.
Rakaji, last time in the COVID time, they gave like a lot of bad things to like not to enter the Andhra people into the Hyderabad. Is that not impacted anything towards against to the TRS?
No. That won't really affect the electoral outcome, because
That
the
was
people
that time. It
across
was
the border were also equally insensitive. The people, the police and the officials who were manning the border on that side, they were also equally insensitive to the plight of the Andhra people who were going back to their villages. They had to take special permissions from the MLAs, district collectors, and then the officers on the other side, not just the Telangana side, the other side, they were also equally, so COVID was a different situation. The people understand that it was a harsh measure, but a much needed measure.
Okay, but just to add on to that, my question out there. So, is not the population in Hyderabad or maybe the Telangana out here, are they not scared of the increased population of these Muslims, hardcore radicalized Muslim, and especially the AIMIM, expanding its base? Are they not scared and they don't want to get the votes getting consolidated towards BJP as a measure? And there are many other instances coming up, which really proves a threat. Ideally, in Hyderabad, we have seen that there are many, especially old city side and everywhere. Right?
See, the problem here is the Muslim issue is, as Srinivas Garu was pointing out, Hindu-Muslim issue directly does not affect the electoral outcome. He is right to that point, and I agree with him fully. See, there are Muslims in places like Sangareddy, Korutla, then Karimnagar and other places, but the tensions are suboptimal, actually, way too below the boiling point. So as of now, these people are being used by the political parties as vote banks, or to win the corporations and municipal councils and the panchayats. So as of now, the political parties are not feeling them, looking at them as threats. And direct Hindu-Muslim issues are not happening in Telangana. The numbers growing, the problem is we are living in an era, you do not know who's who's your next door neighbor. So this population increase and other things don't really seem to bother the people of Telangana as of now. Okay. As of now, of course, even in Hyderabad, the last communal riot we had in Hyderabad was in 2012. That was for 1 day, not even for 3 days. Usually communal riots happen for 3 days, but this time it happened only for 1 day. 2012 is 10 years. So anyone who is 6 years old at that time has no memory of a communal riot. And in Old City also, if you are from Old City, you would realize that there is a complete, demarcation of the Hindu areas and Muslim areas. So a Hindu without touching any Muslim area can travel anywhere. If I board Uppuguda local train, I can go to, MMT via MMTS without touching any area. I can go to high-tech city and then work there and then board the train and then come back. So there is a complete watertight compartmentalization between two communities. There are only 2 or 3 places where the populations are mixing, particularly in the Karwan area and in the Kurmaguda, Madanapet area of this Hyderabad. If you're from Hyderabad.
My voice mute అయినట్టుంది.
There's a complete compartmentalization of the demography. This is a very interesting thing. And elsewhere in Telangana also the same situation. So the Muslim problem, as we see, doesn't exist in Telangana today. And if the BJP harps on only Hindu-Muslim issues, it is not likely to gain much. It has to use the Hindutva card in a very effective way in the Hindu belts.
Yes,
that I spoke about, and then win the seats.
I know BJP doesn't do it.
So my point is, Mamtaji, just 1 minute. My point is BJP should have different strategies for the urban areas, different strategies for the rural areas, for the upper Telangana, for the southern Telangana, for the western Telangana. So they have to have customized, strategies for these regions. One single pill is not, Zinda Talisman is not going to work.
Yeah, so my question also was exactly the same thing. According to the geographic areas, because of the threats that we see now in India and in other parts of the world, and especially the latest example is the Kerala story, how, the youth, all these tactics are used. So the way BJP does, I'm sure they must be doing it at a geographical level and at every district level differently. That's fine. And I don't think so BJP does Hindu-Muslim, the whole population does towards BJP in that manner. So anyways, and my last question, I will not bore everyone, just one more question. So as a KTR face, the next CM, so would KTR will be projected as the next CM face, or is KCR
I
only?
think KCR will be projected. KCR himself will be projected because 2018 is a make or break election for the TRS. If the TRS fails to win 2018,
2020,
then the party will be decimated completely. It will have no say. It will be totally washed out, and all its members will, the party itself, the edifice itself is so weak that if it is out of power, the whole organization will crumble.
It will slide into oblivion.
Yes, it will slide. So most of this talk of BRS winning across the country will, if at all, will happen only after it wins the 2018. So KCR is not going to take chances. And if KTR is projected, I think there will be internal sabotage within the party. And if you have noticed, KTR, is underplaying himself. His social media presence has also come down. His activism on social media has come down. His statements have come down. He is now very low-key and low profile all these days because he has, the people within the TRS must have realized the limitations of KTR as a political leader, as a, idol for the TRS. I think KCR is still the biggest bet. Despite all his deficiencies, I think KCR alone will be the face of the TRS, not KTR.
Okay.
The next
Thank you so
question.
much.
Thank you, Mamtaji. Next question is from Chandu. Chandu, you want to ask?
Yeah. Namaste, Raka garu. Raka garu, my question is like during Huzurabad election, KCR ji he kind of promised like Dalita Bandhu, and everybody knows for a fact that it is practically impossible to give Dalita Bandhu to every Dalita in the Telangana region. Now he's doing the same thing again for the BC community as well in the recent time. So how efficiently can or how differently does the BJP need to tackle this particular thing? Because there's a trust issue that KCR has, and that needs to be taken to the public, and everybody needs to understand that this is not possible, and he's just cheating people. How this can be tackled?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, the problem with the political parties in Telangana is, has any political party except RS Praveen Kumar criticized the Dalit Bandhu? No party has criticized the Dalit Bandhu. Only RS Praveen. The credit should go to him. RS Praveen of Bahujan Samaj Party said it is an insult for the Dalits to take 10 lakh rupees. We don't need arms, he said. So if the political class is connivant, the political opponents are also connivant, what can we do? Has any political party, including BJP and Congress, which have opposed the BC Bandhu? And do you think they will oppose BC Bandhu if it is given? So if you are not opposing, then every party says that BC Bandhu should be implemented. So an alternative political narrative is not there. The political parties are walking into the trap set by him, and everyone is welcoming BC Bandhu, Dalit Bandhu, Raitu Bandhu. Nobody is objecting. When you are not trying to set up a new political agenda and you are just simply towing the same line, how do you expect whether it is a successful one or a failed one? The BJP or the Congress will say that we will implement Dalit Bandhu more effectively than KCR. And for the voter, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. The two birds in the bush are Congress and BJP. A bird in hand is TRS for the voter, from the voter's perspective. That's the problem, sir.
Raka garu, before we move on to the next question, just now I got a message from Yennam Srinivas Reddy Anna. He's having severe back pain due to the kidney stone, so he could not sit even for long hours. So that's the reason he just pinged and said he's going to take another time. Yeah, sure.
I have a caveat. I am not speaking here as a BJP spokesperson.
I know.
I am speaking here as a media person who understands the political affairs or who studies the political affairs and whose tilt is towards the BJP.
Correct. So
I am a fellow traveler.
Yeah, Chandu, you're done, right? Next question we'll go with Buchanna. Buchanna?
Yeah. So good morning, sir. I am also from Nizamabad district. Welcome. And I really appreciate your deep understanding and analysis. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but I'll take your number and I'll talk to you maybe one-on-one because I have too many questions for you. So
Any important
I
question?
don't want to get bored with others.
Any important question? One at least.
I mean, if in the essence of time, I have 5 questions. If you can answer in one word or one sentence, so then I'll start shooting my questions. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir. Ready.
Rapid fire with
round.
Buchanna.
Okay.
Rapid fire with Buchanna.
Okay.
Yeah. So first question: who is our strategist for the BJP in Karnataka or Telangana?
I think the party itself, party apparatus itself, we did not have any other strategies.
No, like PK is for TRS and Sunil K for Congress. So do we have anyone for BJP?
So we have Sunil
Even if we
Bansal.
have, I think he has not come out like the
No.
other political parties.
See, we have Sunil Bansal and Amit Shah themselves.
No,
That's
I
enough.
mean,
Okay, but
they're
then
not
these names are
strategists.
public. These names are not in public domain. So
Unfortunately, sir, I have direct access. Even I am a strategist. That's why I'm asking a question. So there's none. There is a none. So next question. Next question. If the election's happening in November, how many you think that we are going to get as a BJP?
As of now, I think we stand a very fair chance of in about 30 seats.
30 seats.
But I would give 15 surefire seats and 15 marginal seats where the party will have to work very hard.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, great. So one more question is, how or what we need to do to improve our winnability and increase our voter percentage?
Put Kavita behind bars.
Yeah, these are the things that I think, sir, we should discuss. Not in public fora. I think one-on-one would be a better one.
Yes, sir. I totally agree with you. So other than this,
actually, I don't even hazard a number, guess. I don't like to hazard a number guess, but since you have asked a rapid fire this thing, suddenly I blurted out. But I should not have
This is
said
interesting, Raka Garu. Very interesting.
No, but you are absolutely right, sir. So yeah, so your predictions are
these
right.
are questions that need to be discussed behind the bars, and one-on-one is a better option.
That's
exactly.
Any other mild question?
Mild question, yeah. So yeah, I think as you rightly mentioned, so there is a possibility. Actually, there are a couple of things. So while talking to a lot of karyakartas, BJP karyakartas, which you mentioned in the beginning, so they're happy with the Karnataka result because of the false promise of Congress. They're going to do with the same promises in Telangana. So with that, we are going to, I mean, as a BJP, we are going to get more voter share because 2,000 plus 3,000, 5,000 for family per month which is highly impossible to deliver. Yeah. So I think we can increase that. And yeah, so light question is, your analyses are great. So I really appreciate your time and thank you.
Yeah. Next question, Srinivas Kopula. Srinivas, actually, go ahead. If you have any Telangana question.
Yeah, I have
even
two
Andhra
questions.
can be asked.
Yeah, two questions. I have two questions, one for Telangana and one for Andhra. Actually, as an analyst, no, like for Telangana, I will ask, like you are an analyst, right? Basically, like you analyze, right? What you will give advices, top 3 bullet points for the next election they have to go to win the election, like top 3 bullet points.
Yeah, first bullet point is region specific strategies, not just one strategy for the state. I think Telangana is now 5 or 6 different regions and they have to have region specific strategies. Second is a massive voter outreach is needed, meeting the people, meeting the voters, talking to them on a large scale. They have done one such very good program, 11,000 meetings they've organized. I think there should be a follow-up for those 11,000 small meetings in the whole state, each meeting attended by I think 200, 300 people. So I think there should be a follow-up. That's the second bullet point that I have. And the third is extensive night stays by top leaders of the party in villages, in areas, I think that will have a great impact, because the biggest problem that I see in all political parties is nobody makes an overnight stay. I think BJP should start, BJP leaders, not just BJP, even TRS has the same problem. So the Congress has the same problem, but I think the leaders should go stay overnight, work with the people, hold separate one-on-one meetings. I think this outreach will, within 2 or 3 months, you can bring about a change, sir. These are the
I'm
three
looking.
points that I have.
I'm looking more like how do you convince people? Why should I vote for BJP?
Yes, all these things will happen, sir. I'll give you one small example. In 1989, NTR was unassailable. He was very powerful. Mari Channareddy was given the leadership of the party barely 6 months before the elections. He was made chief minister. There was no internet, there was no social media. The print media too had a very limited reach, and it was in the hands of TRS. He organized just 3 programs to convince the people of Telangana, and he managed to defeat NTR from Kalvakurti. He contested from 3 seats, Hindupur, Gudivada, and Kalvakurti, and NTR was defeated. Mighty NTR was defeated in Kalvakurti by an unknown commodity, unknown candidate. So my whole point is the outreach is more important. When you start meeting people, I'll tell you the example of my own village where I stay in Hyderabad, my own township. The TRS MLA, TRS municipal mayor has visited my colony at least 20 times in the past 4 months. And the minister visited my colony thrice. So they are not promising anything. They're coming to the colony, speaking to the people and going away. Municipal chairperson went from house to house and distributed calendars. See, big promises and all these things are for optics. But actually the grassroots level work is different. So the protests, the rallies, they are for media. What you have to do is to go house to house. And you can do that effectively and motivate the workers effectively when you make a night stay. And if you don't make a night stay, you will not be able to enthuse the workers, because throughout the day you have programs and the leaders will, be around you, and you have no time to talk to the leader, his personal problems and things like that. And then about the issues and about the suggestions from them, all these things can happen. Channareddy could do it with just 3 protest programs, and he went, village to village, stayed in the villages, and NTR was defeated and the Congress government came. In 1989, I'm talking about, when there was no social. So my point is, these 3 things: a follow-up for the 11,000 public meetings that we organized. There must be a massive public outreach. Then we must have night stays of the Karyakartas, all our leaders, not just BJP, TRS, Congress. They go in the morning, attend the meeting, address it, have lunch, and come back. By night, they're in Hyderabad. I think this has to change. Wherever we have done this,
I think I'm good. I'm good with your explanation, sir. And the follow-up is on Andhra side. Like, what kind of an advice you give to BJP in Andhra? Like, why they want to, like I'm seeing right from 77 onwards, I'm seeing watching the politics in Andhra and entire state actually. Like now Andhra, no, like a very good momentum for BJP earlier. Why suddenly, why they are colliding with, why they are getting allied with some other people?
So that's a problem that started in the Vajpayee era. So 1995, BJP had contested elections on its own and got 18% votes and 25% in Telangana region. It had 5 MPs, sir. Mettapalli Vidyasagar Rao garu, Bandar Dattatreya from Secunderabad, Venkataswamy from Tirupati. Can you imagine Venkataswamy from Tirupati? And then Krishnamraju from Narsapur,
and BVK Prasad from Rajahmundry.
SPP BK Satyanarayana Rao from Rajahmundry. SPP BK Satyanarayana
from Vijayawada.
Srinivas Rao was an MLA from
He's
Vijayawada.
MLA. He's talking about MLA.
Okay. Yeah.
By that time, after that we aligned with Telugu Desam, which was I personally feel was more a compulsion, but a very huge error. By aligning with Telugu Desam, we lost our, organizational infrastructure in a very big way. And in 2019, they gave some 10 seats to the BJP, 10 or 8 seats to the BJP, of which only 2 are BJP candidates. In the 4 MLAs, 1 was a pure BJP candidate, 3 were Telugu Desam candidates who were given the lotus symbol. So out of 4 MLAs, 3 MLAs were Telugu Desam MLAs sitting in your legislature party meeting and deciding the agenda. So how do you expect a party to, win on its own? So Telugu Desam, the errors that we committed started in
the pathetic situation is in BJP office now, they don't distribute B forms. They will distribute the B forms in Telugu Desam office for BJP candidates.
Exactly. So I think we should not discuss all these things on this platform, but then suffice it to say that the BJP should actually start working on its own. Initially, it would be painted by the pro-TDP media as pro-Jagan, but then BJP should plow its own furrow and then gradually rise. I think the rise of Telugu Desam is inextricably linked to the fall of Telugu. Rise of BJP is inextricably linked to the fall of Telugu Desam. See, you can go from 3 to 2. You cannot go from 3 to 1. So, to cross that bridge, I think Telugu Desam should be defeated. Whether that is good for Andhra, whether that is good for the state of Andhra, will the state go into a further abyss? All these are debatable questions. But my personal feeling, of course, this is not the party position. This is Raka Sudhakar Rao's opinion. BJP should actively work to defeat Telugu Desam, because if it is defeated, the party would crumble and crumble like, a pack of the house of cards. Because
it's a
Chandrababu is already
situation.
70 and Lokesh is a useless guy. So my personal feeling is TDP should be defeated, whether one likes it or not. I think on that extent, BJP is going on the right track in Andhra.
I don't think so. They are influencing, right, sir?
We'll go with the next question.
Yeah, of course. One friend of mine, though not a BJP man, he said, there is YSRCP BJP, there is a TDP BJP, but there is no BJP BJP.
Yeah, that is very true.
Got it.
Actually.
So Venu Uppala has next question.
I have no ill will towards anyone, sir. This is a comment made by my friend.
That was really nice comment, Raka Garu. We never heard it. Now we understand what it is. Yeah, Venu, quick.
Okay. Actually, elections are coming in the December in the Telangana, right? If that extend to go with that, by chance, Lok Sabha elections, how would impact for? Is it good chances, better chances for BJP, or in the December is the best chance?
Sir, I don't think the elections will be postponed and will be held along with the Lok Sabha elections.
Because state elections is usually December, right? It can be extended for 6 months. Usually 2014 it will combinedly happen, right? It can be done, but based on the election commission, if that can happen.
I don't think the constitutional mandate is that there should be a next assembly immediately before
December
existing one gets dissolved. So otherwise you will have to bring in presidential rule, and if you bring president's rule, there is every possibility that the regional parties would use it as an attack on the regional sentiments by the a nationalist party which works from Delhi. I don't think the party would also like to have both the elections together. I think BJP will have to fight the assembly elections by I think they would be held in November and a new government would be installed by December. So September is the likely time when the notification is going to be issued. So I don't foresee, because for the 6 months period, there has to be presidential rule. The
Sure.
chief minister cannot rule by proxy. So I think in case of prime minister, central government,
Srinath,
an apadharma, an interim prime minister can function, but that doesn't happen in case of states where the Article 356 gets invoked, and immediately there has to be presidential governance in states, and that would be more problematic for the BJP, and it could even impact the party's performance in the central elections. Of late, one trend that I see is that the people of the country, however illiterate they may be, they have understood the importance of the state elections and understood the difference between the state and the central elections. So they've been voting differently for the center. They've been voting differently for the state. The classic case is Odisha. The assembly elections and the Lok Sabha elections were held together. The BJP performed way too, exceedingly well in the Lok Sabha elections. It had about 8 or 9 MPs, but it lost the state government and Biju Patnaik came to power. So I think the same voter who voted for Lok Sabha and assembly at the same time had shown different choices, had opted for different choices. I think this is
Orissa people are wise.
People are becoming, yes, Indian
Not
voter.
only like that, people like Narendra Modi, irrespective of the party. People like Narendra Modi, they vote it.
But still,
come to
at
a
the
local,
same time,
right,
local leader.
Same time they are choosing 2 different parties. That's
Exactly.
really wise.
Yes, you're absolutely right, sir.
Yeah.
If you have observed most of the election surveys that were done in Karnataka before these elections, who do you want as chief minister? 38% said Siddaramaiah. And what about Bommai? 10%.
Yeah.
Who do you want as prime minister? 63% voted for Narendra Modi.
Exactly.
In a state where BJP could not win 63 seats, 63% of the voters want Narendra Modi. So I think, as you rightly pointed out, the people are becoming very wise when they're choosing, and 2022 election results may not have any bearing on 2024 elections, even in Karnataka.
Srinath,
Yeah.
next question, Srinath.
Yeah, thanks, Srikanth. Namaste, Raka. Yeah, I think I have a, general observation and also a question and a message. General observation in the BJP is in a different situation compared to other parties in Telugu states. And if you do YSRCP or TDP, the presence is almost nil in Telangana, but it has its presence in Andhra. And BRS Gani, Congress, it has a presence in Telangana, but almost it doesn't have enough in Andhra. BJP, it has both Telangana and Andhra interest. And whenever there is a discussion, we discuss both the states together. We just don't focus on Telangana. I don't know if it's since I think there is still more time for Andhra BJP to come into power or become a sizable influencing force. But in Telangana, immediately there is a very good chance of coming into the power, and I think that's one thing. But I see a lot of people who are from, Telugu states BJP, they discuss both together. I don't know if that will lose the focus on Telangana. That's one observation. Second, general, we've been talking to many people and leaders at different levels. Everyone is suggesting is సీట్ ని ముందే అనౌన్స్ చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇందాక అన్నారు కార్పొరేటర్ ఆర్ మినిస్టర్ వస్తున్నారు ఇంటికి వచ్చి అట్లీస్ట్ 3 times 4 times దే ఆర్ మీటింగ్ పీపుల్ అండ్ దే ఆర్ క్లోజ్ టు ద పీపుల్. కానీ వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు బీజేపీ ఎవరు రీచ్ అవుతున్నారు అంటే అగైన్ వాళ్ళకి బూత్ స్థాయి లేకపోతే డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ లెవెల్ లీడర్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ ఒక కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీలో ఒక పలానా పర్సన్ అని తెలిస్తే వాళ్ళు కూడా రీచ్ అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇఫ్ దే నీడ్ ఎనీ హెల్ప్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఎక్కువ అప్రోచ్ అయ్యే ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. అదొకటి. అండ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్యాండిడేట్ సైడ్ నుంచి కూడా దే కెన్ పుట్ మోర్ ఎఫర్ట్స్ అండ్ దే కెన్ ఫోకస్ అండ్ వర్క్ మోర్ ఇన్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీ. సో అట్లా అనౌన్స్ చేసే స్కోప్ ఉంటుందా అనేది అదొకటి. అంటే ఉండాలనేది అందరు కోరుకుంటున్నది. దట్స్ వన్ థింగ్. అండ్ థర్డ్ వన్ ఇస్ ఒకటి క్లియర్ గా ఇప్పుడు ఎలక్షన్స్ వచ్చినప్పుడు డెఫినెట్లీ టిఆర్ఎస్ విల్ కౌంటర్ on two things. One is the cylinder price, and the second one is the way the corporations have been given to Adani group. So ఈ రెండిటి మీద మీ counter argument ఏముంటది, and the other two were just observation and just a message from different people.
I fully agree with your observation, sir. Declaring the candidate early will give him time to mend the fences. 2018, you have seen. 2018, all the TRS MLAs, when they went to their villages, they were attacked. Stones were pelted on them. They were sent back from their, their convoys were sent back, and all these things have happened in the early phases, the moment the elections were announced. But when the votes were counted, all those people who were turned away from the villages, who were sent out of the villages, they have won. Rasamai Balkishan, for instance, from Manakondur, he had won with a thumping majority, and he was considered the most unpopular. But so declaring a candidate early will be a good step. He will be able to talk to the rival contenders within the party, and then smother the opposition, and then he can strategize and he can do well. I think that is a good strategy. I think party bosses, BJP must be thinking on those lines. I'm sure it will do. The second issue is the party being. Every national party has this problem, sir. Every national party has this problem. When two neighboring states have issues, the political parties, the regional parties can, adopt very hard stances, very militant stances, which is not possible for a national party, because it has to keep the national, interest in perspective, and it has to have a moderating rather influence, and many times it loses out. For instance, communists, during the Telangana agitation, even BJP said there must be two states, but communists said that Andhra Pradesh should not be divided. Where is CPM today? Where is CPI today? So they have adopted a very hard stance and a stiff stance, an inflexible stand that Andhra should stay united, when the overriding sentiment was in favor of vivisection of the state, partition of the state, division of the state, rather, to use a better word.
They had some presence only in Telangana more than
they
Andhra.
had some presence in Telangana. They had some presence in places like Radol, and in Prakasham Jilla they had MLAs winning very recently. Ibrahim Patnam, they had a good presence, so on and so forth. But then they lost both the states. So sometimes, by giving, Congress has lost. By not supporting, CPI has lost. But BJP, I think, adopted a more mature response, and has at least gained in Telangana, if not in Andhra Pradesh. Andhra, of course, as you said, it's a long way to go.
Raka, next question, Shravan.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Raka garu, two-part question, Andy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can very well hear you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Two-part question, and sir, lessons learned from Karnataka elections, and second thing is, what impact will today's decision of 2,000 rupee will show on TRS specifically for the upcoming elections?
Sir, 2,000, I don't think even TRS or TDP or any party would be affected, because nobody would stash money. No politician, no sensible politician would stash money. He would keep money in the accounts of friendly people, the funders and others, and the money usually comes from those sources. So if anyone thinks that the taking back or withdrawal of 2,000 note will affect any political party, I think that's not a right way to look at it, because no political party, they have learned their lesson. Moving cash, there is every possibility that you would be caught. So I think politicians are clever, and they have their own ways of, and they must have realized that 2,000 is being phased out, and this has been happening over a period of time. So I don't think, and maybe in one or two, you won't see any queues the way you have seen during the demonetization and all that, because people are now digitally more well equipped, and 2,000 issue will not have any impact on any political party. If Maoists
only India will gain. Only India will gain.
India will gain. I do. As for the other question, can you repeat the question? What lesson that we learned from Karnataka? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Karnataka, I think one big lesson is the BJP should learn in Telangana is that Karnataka, the party has given up long before the elections. This is a very cruel statement to make, but since I am not a member of the party, I think I can make it. You can contest this, but then my personal feeling is the MLAs, many of the MLAs, కాడి వదిలేయటం అంటారు కదా తెలుగులో, long before the elections, most of them, had no will to fight. It was entirely an effort by the national leadership that the party was brought back into the fight, and whatever fight that we see is because of the very able leadership of that we have at this center. Lot many MLAs, they were resigned to their long before, and resignation, the mental state of resignation has two things. One, losing the will to fight. The second, making compromises. I think both were made, and I think BJP in Telangana should realize that it has a fair chance of winning, so it should not let the guard down. This is one major lesson the party has to learn, and it has to work. The outreach with people, the Congress's outreach with people was entirely on a different plane. The BJP's outreach with the people did not perhaps happen in Karnataka. I have toured Karnataka in 2013 and elsewhere and later also. I think the ground level connect was somehow missing in some places. I'm being very measured in my response, but then I think the BJP should start its outreach, reaching out to the people and tapping into the anger against the TRS. The media is not showing the government administration is totally under the control of the party, but still there is a great space, and we still have a chance to win. I think we have 4 months or 5 months to wage this battle and win. So I think these two lessons, one is not letting the guard down, and two, reaching out to the people, direct connect with the people. I think that is very important, and unless BJP learns these lessons, I think if the Telangana BJP learns these lessons, I think it will definitely win, and it has a very fair chance of winning, sir.
Last question is Sri Palepu. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Sudhakar garu. Thanks, and sorry I joined late. Maybe you covered this topic. So, na question వచ్చి ఆంధ్రాలో తెలుగుదేశం పార్టీ వీకెన్ అయ్యి పవర్ లోకి రాకపోవడం బీజేపీ కన్నా హిందూ కాజ్ కి పెద్ద దెబ్బ అని నా అనుమానం అండి. ఐ మీన్ నా అభిప్రాయము. I could be wrong. మీ ఒపీనియన్ ఏంటి దాని మీద? I just wanted to get that aspect. And then second part would be Pavan Kalyan, BJP, they come and go with each other. What is the dynamics there? And అర్థం కావట్లేదు వాళ్ళు, like that part, like అంటే Pavan Kalyan represents కాపు votes significant గా. If Pavan Kalyan, TDP and BJP come together, is there a possibility of like defeating YSRCP?
Yeah, that's actually a very important question, Andy. Your question has two sub-questions. The first is, if the TDP loses this time, will the Hindu interests be compromised? Is the first question. The second question is, that is the first part. And the second part is about the Pavan Kalyan factor. I think parties with a longer vision, parties which have a longer vision, should not look at immediate gains. My personal feeling is, in Andhra region, actually what you are seeing today is Christian assertion. A Christian assertion, the assertion by the missionary enterprise ది దశమ భాగ ది టైత్ వింగ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో వాళ్ళ యొక్క అసర్షన్ చూస్తున్నాము. బట్ యాక్చువల్ కన్వర్షన్స్ ఇన్ ఆంధ్ర ఐ హ్యావ్ plateaued. And this is a very, actually, unless you go to the ground level, I have asked many of our workers this question. Can you give me one example of a convert to the Christianity in the last 1 year? I have asked nearly 100 people. They have not been able to provide me with one answer, one single instance of conversion. So the conversions are plateaued. But the Christian missionary enterprises assertion has gone up in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
That's very true. So there is we have to look at this, in a very nuanced way. Missionary assertion is rising, but I'll tell you one more example. Jagan has given, some, honorarium for the pastors. But, not many pastors have applied. Do you know this? Not many people who talk about this, not even 1% of the pastors have applied, because the moment they apply for a pastor's this thing, they will lose their SC status and all the attendant benefits that the SC reservation confers on them.
Yeah.
So
regulation. Wow. Awesome.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
The government told them, okay, if not you, your wife, let her apply, when we'll give the honorarium. Not one of the, pastor has asked his wife to, apply for, because if the wife applies, she will lose the SC status. So there is a lot of finer prints, sir. The conversions are plateaued, new conversions are not happening. Hindu assertion at the ground level, Hindus are countering the missionaries when they're going to the
like
villages.
Shiva Shakti is working real hard.
Shiva Shakti is one, and more than Shiva Shakti is noise, but then concerted effort is being done by Samarastha Seva Foundation. I have done a recent video where they have been converting nearly 20,000 people every year.
Wow.
And this has been happening for the last, say, 10 years. So,
Garvapasi, right? This is Garvapasi, right?
Yes, yes, Garvapasi.
Yeah, okay.
The word that they use,
sir,
Garvapasi.
పేరు రిపీట్ చేయండి సార్. ఏమన్నారు? పేరు రిపీట్ చేస్తారా?
Organization.
దాని పేరు
Garvapasi, it's a Hindi word, sir. Garvapasi.
The organization.
కాదు సంస్థ.
Raka garu, the
organization.
Sir, నేను చెప్తున్న పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే, ఇమ్మీడియట్ హిందూ ఇంట్రెస్ట్స్ అని మనం ఏదైతే చూస్తున్నామో, యాక్చువల్ గా హిందూ ఫైట్ బ్యాక్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. వన్, ఆన్ a BJP platform, I should not talk Hindu, Christian or upper caste, lower caste. I realize that. And second issue is missionary enterprises ఏదైతే assertion ఉందో, this assertion will disappear. So in the long term, Chhatrapati Shivaji made compromises. If you look at Chhatrapati Shivaji's life, many times to defeat the intentions of Bijapur, he curried the favor of Mughals, and he was willing to become their Subedar, Mansabdar.
Okay.
So if you look at the long-term, short-term interest, you would say that Shivaji has sacrificed the Hindu interests. When Afzal Khan was to be lured into the Pratapgarh trap, into that Sahyadri Valley, and then trap them, he did not act when Tulja Bhavani temple and Kolhapur Lakshmi Devi temple were damaged. So temples were damaged. He did not act, Afzal Khan destroyed Tulja Bhavani, Pandharpur, and Kolhapur. Shivaji did not act, because many times we have to look at the long-term implications, a long-term strategy. For the long-term strategies, sometimes we may have to make some accommodations. So I think, the Hindus are now rising. I will tell you one interesting incident. We are these days organizing Hanuman Jayantis, Ram Navamis, and all that. I find that a lot of TRS leaders are not only supporting us financially, they're directly joining our programs. This is happening even in Andhra. People from YSRCP at the Sarpanch level, at the village level, they are backing the Hindu movements. I know for a fact that, once I addressed the Hindu Sammelan somewhere in Gajwel Assembly constituency, and among the audience were 15 sarpanches of the TRS. They say Hinduism is different, politics is different. So this change is coming. There's I think the BJP should look at the long-term interest in Andhra, and while keeping sight of the short-term gains also. I think it's a fine balance that the party will do, and I'm confident it will do so.
Raka, one last question from myself.
Okay.
So in regards
to... I'm very happy that so many questions are coming.
Yeah, sure. So last question is, I've seen so many videos of yours and got a lot of information, but on the Pakistan front, there is a lot of halla gulla going on, and there seems to be a breakup even on Pakistan. So in this situation, what happens to POK? Are we going to take it back before 2024, or only after the dismantling? I mean, once the Pakistan divides into various countries, that happens, what's going to happen?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, sir. Let me give you the example of Taiwan. Taiwan got separated from China in 1947-48 when the Kuomintang forces, they have taken over this Formosa, which was known as Formosa, and now it has been renamed Taiwan. Taiwan is the 1/50th of the Chinese landmass. China is today the number 2 in the world. It has a lot of military might. Still, it is not invading Taiwan. Still, it is unable to take Taiwan. Why do you think? Many a times, geopolitics, the state of economy, internal issues, a lot of other, world equations come into play. So a powerful country like China, which is a great land grabber, believes in, salami slicing, it is unable to take even a single inch of Taiwan. And it has not declared a war even when American foreign minister had landed in Taiwan in utter defiance of one China policy. So a lot of time, we need to look at this Chinese example. Alaska belongs to Russia. It was a trade agreement. They purchased this land. Russia can always come and invade, and geographically, Alaska is totally cut off from the US. But why do you think Russia is not even talking about Alaska? So there are a lot of geographical, geopolitical factors. I don't see takeover of POK happening before 2024. Despite the chaos and the mayhem that is happening in Pakistan, one. Secondly, by trying to take over, we will inadvertently unite the whole Pakistan. Mind you, their military is still a very powerful thing, and it's one of the very powerful armies in the country, and the internal differences will be set aside, put behind, and they will fight against government of Indian army. So when it is disintegrating on its own, why should we actually do it? That's a tactical this thing. And you're all in America. American military has published some maps in 2006. American Military Intelligence Magazine, I think that is the name of the magazine. They have published the future of the West Asia and South Asia, in which they have published maps where part of the Pakistan, which is dominated by the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which is dominated by the Pashtuns and Pathans, it will get integrated. They are forcing the integration of this part into Afghanistan. And their maps, I've seen their maps. Their maps show POJK as part of Afghanistan. This is their futuristic vision. This is something that we need to understand. See, the future that the West is looking at, the NATO is looking at, is that, POJK, which is a very strategic part, which is the link between South Asia and the Central Asia, South Asia and the West Asia, and a launchpad to the Xinjiang province of China, where a rebellion is brewing against China. I think the POJK, they have put it in the map of Afghanistan. Not Pakistan, but Afghanistan. So I think the contestation for this piece of land, this geography, the POJK, not the Mirpur Muzaffarabad part, but the Gilgit-Baltistan part is going to be very ferocious and fierce. And in the days to come, I think India has to make a supreme, superhuman effort to take them back into India. You can very well refer to the futuristic vision of the US for
Rakaji, who are the people? Who are the people that included Gilgit-Baltistan, the POK, into Afghanistan? Who actually included?
The American intelligence organizations. The American intelligence organizations are looking at a scenario. They're proposing a scenario rather. They're proposing a scenario where Pakistan is limited to Punjab and Sindh, Balochistan becoming an independent country, and then Afghanistan, getting bulged up because of the inclusion of the Pashtun regions from Pakistan, and Balochistan becoming fatter from the Sistan Balochistan in Iran, which is the only Sunni-speaking area. These are the futuristic maps that the US is preparing, and it is working on.
So
I think India's takeover of POJK, let me complete. India's takeover of POJK will not be a fight just with Pakistan. It will be a fight with China. It will also be a fight, a diplomatic or strategic or geo-economic, I do not know, with even the NATO forces. So I think what happens in the coming 5 to 10 years in the global politics, the weakening of the US, strengthening of the weakening of the China, strengthening of India, and the disintegration of Pakistan, I think all these 4 or 5 factors put together will determine the fate of Gilgit-Baltistan region, which is strategically and geopolitically extremely important. And I think India will have to look at that. And I think that our government is, our strategic thinkers are looking at that.
Sure. Follow-up question.
No.
Like 1 minute. Actually, US lended about $40 billion to Pakistan, which is a debt forever. As well, China lended about 35 billions or something. So together it is 80 billions. So Pakistan is in no way can repay that debt for sure. In that case, if US wants Afghanistan to take over POK as well, with the debt of $35 billion from China, even with the CPEC that is being already done, will China accept US thinking of adding that POK into Afghanistan?
See, these are possible futuristic scenarios that the US is projecting. So what happens in the coming 5 to 10 years is very important. As I said, China has interest in POJK. As of now, Intel reports suggest that there are 30,000 Chinese soldiers in the garb of workers, laborers, right now in the POJK region. They're working in different installations and they're working as clerks and others, but they're actually PLA workers, and many of the companies that China has floated has a large number of Intel operatives working in POJK, Pakistan, Gwadar, a lot of other places. So how the future unfolds depends on the interplay of the international politics, the strengthening or weakening of these rivals, and the position of India, how India shapes up in the coming days. I think the coming 4 or 5 years, I think 2029, 2030 is the time when India will start asserting itself in a very different manner on the international arena. And for that, I believe 2024, India has to elect nationalist forces so that this shaping up and building India towards that becomes very important, sir. I think this is my personal way. How I am looking at
great analysis, Raka Garu. One thing is like US is going to collapse. That's what people say in the financial analysis. Diwala Anchuna America. That's what people are saying. And even China is going down. So once they get depowered, they are depowered. maybe if India is growing at the same instance, we might even divide you Pakistan and get our.
That's what I said,
Yeah.
In the coming 5 to 10 years, how these top powers shape up. Europe is crumbling, for that matter. UK is crumbling. UK is now on a precipice, the situation is very dire, and a US president skips, Quad meet and rushes back to his country to salvage the situation in his parliament, in his Senate. This is unthinkable some 10 years ago. So maybe in the coming 5 or 6 years, there could be more economic protectionism in the US. There would be a lot of rebellion in China. So given that situation, if that happens, India should be in a position to actually assert itself and protect its interests. So a lot depends on winning 2024, and getting the right government in 2024 is very important for India. And Indians have to look at this and put behind the other issues, because 2024 is the launching pad for India's journey towards superpower. So I personally feel 2024 is very important for the country.
Got it, Raka. Raka garu, Monna recently the Karnataka, the missionary that actually made Karnataka win, are rushing towards MP, Madhya Pradesh, right now. So what would be the impact of that missionary which is moving into MP? Because we have strong leaders there, unlike Karnataka.
Sir, my personal feeling is this experiment is going to take place in everywhere in the country. Perhaps Telangana, the so-called civil society that the anti-Modi group wants, is very weak in Telangana and Andhra. One, because of the bifurcation; two, because of the decimation of the Naxal movement. But elsewhere, the civil society, the NGO society, NGO organizations, if you remember, the Narmada movement was led by Medha Patkar, and it was Madhya Pradesh was her area of operation. So you have a very powerful NGO sector that operates around Bhopal, around Narmada, and these areas. And also in the Bhil-dominated areas of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, which abut, Rajasthan and part of Gujarat and part of Madhya Pradesh have similar population of Bhils, equal population of Bhils, and there is already a Bhil movement, separate Bhil state movement going on there. So it has been building up. So all these will come together. All these NGOs that are operating in and around Bhopal, they will come together, and a lot of pro-Naxal organizations are already working in Madhya Pradesh. Yeah, they are very much. And
as well, Beam Party is also asserting it recently.
Jai Bhim Party is Uttar Pradesh, basically.
They are also showing some assertion, it seems.
So this can happen in Rajasthan, where a lot of NGO activity has always been there. So I foresee that happening. Chhattisgarh, a lot of civil society organizations in the garb of communism and in the garb of helping tribals are operating. So in all these 3 states, I foresee a similar nexus happening.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, pretty
much. Nexus happening, and I think the nationalist forces will have to factor this in. Because there's one interesting pointer in what happened in Karnataka. They selectively recruited people in identified assembly constituencies to tilt the balances. So selective recruitment of voters, or the recruitment of voters, there have been many so-called civil society organizations working to actually enroll voters. It would be interesting to note that Arvind Kejriwal's work before entering politics was to enroll voters. He had an organization called Parivartan, which enrolled voters in Delhi. Why is he successful in Delhi? The only reason he is successful in Delhi is he has been recruiting, and the recruitment has been going on. So I think the party also will have to focus on recruiting voters and how to counter these forces I think this is one effort that needs to be made. I foresee similar operations being undertaken in all the 3 states that are going to polls. Telangana, perhaps that may not happen because the civil society organizations, the so-called civil society organizations, are at the lowest ebb because of our Bhima Koregaon operations and all that. Many of the pro-Naxal organizations are now dormant, dead, and many of the leaders are in their 80s, and they have not created a second line of young leaderships. You would be interested to note in Karnataka, some of the operators are very young. Disha Ravi is just 22. She was the one who distributed toolkit to all across the voluntary organizations all across the country. During the farm agitation, she's 21. Amulya Leona, who shouted Pakistan Zindabad in Oasis meeting, she's hardly 23. So a young batch of committed anti-BJP, anti-Hindutva brigade is now operating, and this is a very dangerous trend. And we may be leading in Twitter and perhaps Facebook, but then Instagram has been taken over by them. Snapchat has been taken over by them. The new media, social media that are coming, I think we have our task cut out. Very tough battle ahead, perception battles that you need to fight. I think BJP has to not just electoral politics, but has to look into these aspects also. BJP, not just BJP, all the nationalist organizations.
Correct.
This
So,
is very important for 2024 again.
Sure, Raka Garu, that was great information. We really love all this information that you shared. That was
anything that I spoke against about Telangana and BJP. That's my personal opinion. I do not represent the party.
That's okay. This is everybody can air their opinion in a democracy. That's fine. So, friends, this will be the end of our session. We really thank Raka Garu again. Raka Garu, whenever we need some knowledge, we'll just pull into these calls. Thank you so much.
We're all working for the same cause.
Yes, sir.
Sitting in the faraway land, you're thinking of the motherland, and you're spending your evening, Saturday evening, or Friday evening. I'm not sure. Friday evening, the weekend, you're spent nearly 2 hours.
Almost.
2 hours, yes.
2 hours.
I expected it to end by 50 minutes or so, but then looking at the kind of interest, I am amazed, and I think the NRI community has a great role to play. You can come here and work for the party, that's one thing, and more than that, I think you can influence your relatives, friends, your acquaintances, and all those people who matter and who vote. I think your word will have more weight than a local. They do this in Gujarat. One of the reasons why Gujarat votes for BJP is that Gujarat has a huge NRI population. You go to any part of the world, the Indian would invariably be a Gujarati. Sorry, I'm taking 1 or 2 minutes. You go to Kenya, you go to Uganda, you go to any place in Africa, you go to any place in Europe, even in America, the motels are known as patels because of the Gujaratis. So I think these people keep influencing the people out there in Gujarat, and they play their own role. I think coming here and working is one part, but I think regularly communicating with our family members, acquaintances, students, and our other WhatsApp groups of friends, colleagues, I think that will play a very big role, and that will actually turn the tide in our favor in Telangana.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch with you, Raka Garu. Hari.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Srikant Garu.
No problem.
Thank you.